Hey, everybody. Welcome to Game Mess Mornings with me, Jeff Grubb, your host from giantbomb.com. Thank you for tuning in. In this episode, we're going to be talking about GameStop buying eBay. What? It's going to be a good one because we have David Fame Whitaker on the show. Fame, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. It's a beautiful Monday morning. I get to hang out with you. I don't have to go to work. Life is good, brother. It's good.
It is good. I'm glad you're here. Glad we can make this happen. And then I'm glad you get to kick it for the rest of the day. Take care of some errands and then hang out. That's fantastic. I'm happy for you there. We're going to be doing some fun stuff over here, but I'm still jealous. I'll be playing some fun games. I'd still be like, you know what? I'd like to kick it too. Fame, man. Tell people about yourself. Tell people where they can, find you, what you do on the internet, all that good stuff.
Cool beans. Yeah, I am co-owner of LV1 Gaming, lv1gaming.com. You guys had my boss on here not too long ago, Baron J67. He's actually my partner in crime here. We own the thing 50-50, but I call him my boss because he's normally doing the cool stuff while I'm stuck here in Texas because there's nothing here, and he's in California where everything is, so he gets to attend everything. Even though I will be at Summer Games Fest this year, I'm super excited about being at Summer Games Fest this year.
You come hang out with us. We'll make it happen, yes.
I'm definitely coming to hang out with you, man. And listen, Jeff, I love that the hair is growing back. I'm so happy.
Thank you.
I'm still jealous. I'm still wearing the headbands from last time you see me because nothing's growing up here. It's actually going away, so I'm super jealous. But yes, LV1 Gaming, lv1gaming.com, man. We have an amazing team over there. We're completely ad-free, so everything we do to keep running, to be able to go to Summer Games and stuff like that is from our YouTube channel, which we do a show every single Friday. So yeah, man, I'm happy to be here, and it's going to be a good show.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to get into everything. Let's explain ourselves. We're Giant Bomb, independent games media. If you want to support that, ensure the future of independent games media, go to giantbomb.com/join, become a premium member, gets you ad-free versions of the shows, gets you premium shows. It's going to get you real soon early access to our endurance run where me and Mike got sat on this couch right over here and we played through Bully. And it was a great time. You're going to get all those episodes early. If you're a premium member, go to giantbomb.com/join. Thank you to everyone who supports us. If you can't financially, we get it. Tell a friend. Come hang out with us in the chat. Come hang out in the community. Be a part of it. That is awesome as well. As far as this show goes, most weekdays, I, Jeff Grubb, will help piece your gaming life back together. That includes breaking news and maybe even some of our own original reporting. For all these topics, I'll get the input of a bona fide expert who will make me look smart. If you are watching live on Twitch, welcome. You can always listen to the show later on podcast feeds by searching for Game Mess Mornings or find the RSS feed on giantbomb.com. You can also catch the show later with chapters and timestamps on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. All right, we have a lot to get into, so let's start the morning mess with first my donut. So yes, Steph, maybe she's still poisoning me, but I don't care because she went and got me these Jolly Roger Star Wars Day donuts. Got a little R2-D2 on there. Nice. Yeah. Oh, that's a stormtrooper helmet. Can't really make it out on this camera, but I'm gonna eat the hell out of that. That's looking real good. But let's start with actual news stories here, everybody. GameStop announces shocking buyout offer for eBay. This comes from Eddie McHugh at GameSpot. GameStop submitted a non-binding proposal to acquire 100% of eBay for $125 per share, split 50-50 between cash and GameStop stock. GameStop says it already has a 5% economic stake in eBay and frames the deal as a way to turn eBay into a bigger Amazon competitor. GameStop is much smaller than eBay, so the whole pitch is Ryan Cohen attempting to convert his meme stock stuff. You know, when the meme stock stuff was really popping off, they sold a bunch of stocks. GameStop did, and they diluted their shares even, so they could sell into it even more. They have something like $9 billion in the bank. They want to take that money and do something more with it. And that is buying eBay. Fame, it's worth pointing out that Ryan Cohen, who is the CEO of GameStop and is the guy, the mastermind behind this, doesn't know his ass from a rat hole. He is a truly stupid man. And you could tell that, man, the people that report on this from an economic standpoint or financial standpoint, like on CNBC this morning, Fame, they did an interview with Ryan Cohen. And they were just so desperately trying to get him to be normal about this. And through the whole interview, he was just being one of the dumbest people alive. Allegedly. I'm alleging that. So it was just like, oh, he doesn't have a plan. this is just one of those things where he spent a weekend, and this is a joke now. Now I'm not alleging it in anything. Doing ketamine and came back and it's like, hey guys, I have a great idea. Let's go ahead and buy eBay. What do you make of this? Because I don't even know where to start, Fame.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I have maybe a year ago, I've said it out loud that I did not want GameStop to go under because it was the last of our big box. It's about video.
It's
games,
important
right?
for competition.
Yes. But now GameStop over the last year has made a big transition to where it's not about the games anymore. It's about trading cards. Let's keep it a buck. Buying eBay is about Pokemon. It is 100% about Pokemon, right? And so what GameStop did was, as they began to make the transition from, hey, we're all about video games, all being about trading cards and Pokemon, they began to operate like a small store, and by jacking up their price, like, hey, we're getting stuff from Pokemon at the lowest possible price, and MSRP is 50, but we're going to make it 100. We're going to make it 150, right? It's all about Pokemon. So now they're looking like, hey, we can go get eBay, because eBay, for all intents and purposes, for people who don't collect Pokemon, for a lot of people, they set the price on a lot of stuff, right? So when you go to a card show and you're trying to sell a Pokemon card, they're going to see what the last few sales were on eBay. Right.
Yes.
And so eBay is pretty much setting the price. If you're on TCG Play, anything, things, eBay is what's setting the price. So if GameStop, who not only is saying, hey, we're not Target, we're not Walmart, you can come get stuff from us because we're not selling MSRP, we're selling it for higher, give you the opportunity to come buy it. Now we're going to say, hey, we're going to set the market on what single cards look like. And also, hey, we can kind of manipulate on how much your ETBs cost. This is one big move for them to try to hone in and take over the Pokemon market. So with that, I want GameStop to die a very fast and painful death, because you failed in the games media, right? Because gaming changed, right? You can't really go out. A lot of people are buying digital. They aren't buying used games anymore. So that's pretty much fading out, right? And they were scummy with that. Like, hey, we'll buy your game for $40. We're going to sell it for $60. They were scummy in that. Now they've been scummy in Pokemon. GameStop can die a very painful death right now.
Yeah, right. They had no plan really for gaming, and it showed. And now, and the plan was to just like be the middleman and charge as much as possible while paying as little as possible. And that is the only plan here as well. And the people do point out that there is this other side of it where Ryan Cohen, the CEO, could get a big payout if GameStop's stock price goes back over $100 per share. So like, it's like he's working multiple angles here, right? Where absolutely he looks at eBay as, hey, if we can get in control of like manipulating that market a little bit, working with the sellers of Pokemon cards to make sure they're selling for as much as possible and giving them reasons to raise those prices, because we are going to see a huge benefit, because we have a lot of those cards sitting in our stores that is valuable to us. And then if it all blows up, well, in the meantime, this is going to skyrocket the stock price today. And we've seen what like the meme traders will do once GameStop gets rolling. They'll all pile in, and he's hoping that this is a to the moon situation, and he'll get paid. You know, even if it does go through, even if the deal goes through, right? He's going to be financing this with a $20 billion loan, essentially, or $20 billion debt deal. And he's going to get the golden parachute in that situation, where
he won't lose in this situation.
He cannot lose in this situation, right? He is manipulating it also, that he's in a position, no matter what happens, he's probably going to come out doing all right, even if it is selling some stock in this moment for GameStop to fund the deal to buy some more, to buy eBay. eBay's received the deal. It's, non-binding. They could say no. Although I guess Cohen said that if they do say no, he's going to take it directly to the investors who own eBay stock. Although, once it reaches that point, I do not think he has the wherewithal and the sort of stick-to-itiveness to see that through. I think it would probably fall through at that point. But if GameStop, does go away, which really it kind of has, as like for most people do not factor it into their purchasing decision. So I guess this is maybe more widely like, hey, as retail becomes more diminished as one of the options for us when it comes to purchasing games, as the new next generation of consoles maybe all default launch without a built-in disk drive. What do you think the future of buying games is? What do you think?
And it sucks because you can't really see it because I kind of moved some stuff. I am a big time physical collector. I love physical media. Maybe it's because I'm on the older end of the millennial side. I love physical games. Right. This is terrible because let's be honest. You're not saying, oh man, I'm going to go to Best Buy today to go look for a game. You're not going into Best Buy for that. You're not going into Walmart for that. You're not going into Target for that. It's an afterthought. You're like, oh snap, they sell video games. Maybe I'll pick up something. Right. But for the most part, most of us, luckily for me and like Baron, we're fortunate we get a lot of review copies and stuff like that. But when we go to buy a game, we just wake up the day before and just download it. That's where gaming is going. Physical media is out. And so where I give them credit is because they're doing something different. But at the same time, like they are dead men walking. It's the gaming space. And trust me when I say I don't think it's a good thing that we're going all digital. I think it's terrible. I think there is a market for, and I don't mean to be on a soapbox. A lot of people can't afford brand new games at $70. They can't. Oh, no way. Right? So people getting games used, that was huge for a big subsection of gamers, right? So now where you can possibly get a game that maybe is a little bit older, possibly used for like $50, everyone went the Nintendo route, PlayStation and Xbox, right? Where these games are going to be $70 all the time, no matter what. You're not getting a discount, right? So I think ultimately for the big consumer, this is going to be bad for us, right? Because everything being digital means everything stays expensive, because what reason do they have to offer you anything cheaper? And they know you're going to buy the game, and it sucks. I don't like it, but it is what it is. I can definitely see them, especially selling an attachment like they did with the PS5. Like, hey, here's a console with no disc.
We'll do that.
I'm gonna charge you $40 to use a disc. That's bullcrap.
Yeah, and then once that happens, the incentive for most of these companies that are looking at razor thin margins is, well, maybe one day we'll put out a physical version of this, but not at launch. The biggest games absolutely still will. The pro version of these consoles likely will come with that bundled in, or maybe even a disc drive built in. I'm skeptical, but maybe. But they recognize that is still a portion of the audience that they want to make sure that they are fully monetizing. So they'll come up with some option for it. But the middle game and the smaller games, those will, or like even like big games that come from a more independent side, like think Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3 did eventually get a physical version. I think that model is probably going to be replicated pretty frequently by games of that scale going forward. It's digital first, maybe PC first, but digital first. And then, if it does very well, here is a $150 physical version for the freaks. And it's like, yeah, that's premium. Yes, exactly. I mean, that's the only way that they like justify it. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, we can all see that this is happening. I don't know what you do to fix GameStop other than just like be happy being a video game store. I mean, right, but it's like they have to keep growing and growing and growing. Someone in chat mentioned it's like eBay is like one of those weird companies, and I'm sure people who've paid attention to eBay can tell me all the things that have been shitified one way or another. But it mostly seems like they're just doing the thing that they said they were going to do. And Ryan Cohen coming in, that is not going to last if that's how this actually goes down. They will try to change that company into something else, forget about its core mission, and that will become a worse experience. And it's like, yeah, that is the story of GameStop. Yeah.
I kind of give them credit I give them credit, just enough credit to say, hey, at least you're doing something else. You're trying something. It's almost like Xbox. Like, hey, this didn't work. Let's try something else. It might necessarily have worked to perfection, but at least you're doing something
which we're talking about.
So credit for that, but 2 thumbs down for GameStop. Good reason. I can't wait to respond.
It's like I want Ryan Cohen out of here, and GameStop needs to, change its stripes or get out of here. All right, up next, Halo 2 and Halo 3 remakes are reportedly in active development. Fame. This is from Andy Robinson at VGC. Halo Studios is actively developing remakes of Halo 2 and Halo 3, in addition to this year's Unreal 5 powered version of Combat Evolved, it's claimed. That's according to Rebs Gaming, which claims to have received proof from sources that the entire original Halo trilogy is receiving the remake treatment. As a reminder, Halo Combat Evolved is going to be Halo Campaign Evolved, single-player campaign later this year. Here's a quote from Rebs. One of my news sources sent me proof to verify themselves and confirm that Halo 2 and Halo 3 remakes are definitely happening. Active development is underway. They are in early development. According to the sources, Halo Combat Evolved's remake will even include content from the other 2 Halo entries, such as Brutes, as nods to those games in its new prequel missions. Brutes may even make an appearance in the original Combat Evolved missions via a planned new skull modifier, it's claimed. There's a bunch of other details like that. But the continuation of this story frame is that, okay, so there's Halo campaign Evolved. Then there's Halo 2 and 3 getting the same treatment. And then there is a new multiplayer experience. And then on top of that, they're also apparently making a new standalone Halo sequel campaign to go along with that multiplayer experience. So very busy over there. What are you hoping to see from the Halo franchise, from Campaign Evolved, from the multiplayer stuff? What are you hoping?
I'm really hoping that when these do release, that they sell enough to give Xbox confidence that the Halo brand isn't dead, right? Because to me,
Right.
Halo is on my Mount Rushmore. It's Master Chief, it's Mario, it's one of those pillar games. It's like it helped define gaming. So I'm hoping that these games do sell very well. I mean, they're going to get that PlayStation money. I think that's a big part of this as well, right? You put this games on PlayStation,
for sure.
you got a whole new. Well, I say whole new audience, right? Because a lot of PlayStation gamers were like on the 360, so a lot of them played. Like they played Halo before, but you're gonna go get that PlayStation money, and hopefully they have a renewed confidence in the brand. Because let's keep it a buck, right? Halo doesn't have that power that it used to have.
It doesn't. But can I ask you real quick? Do you think it can get close to what Forza did when it came to PlayStation? Do you think it's like similar in scale?
I think it will outdo Forza, and Forza did great. Forza did amazing. I think it will outdo. I think Halo. I think it still has enough juice to say, "Holy crap!" Like we've never had this on this console before, right? I think it'll do better than Forza on PlayStation, and I think it has to. And for reasons that may not be topics on the show, I think it has to do so well in there to keep for Xbox to keep having that confidence that hey, we can keep this multiplayer strategy. That's a conversation for another day. But I think it'll do very well on PlayStation, and it has to. Halo is too big of an IP to continue to be as lackluster as it's being, right? So what you do, you tap into nostalgia. We're going to go back. Instead of keep going forward, and having half-baked stories and unfinished stories like they did with 4 and 5, we're gonna go backwards and play on your nostalgia. We're gonna get an Unreal Engine 5. We're gonna add some new missions in there to kind of keep you tapped in for the players who have played the games before. We're gonna keep you tapped in, and we're gonna go over the PlayStation and possibly go over the Switch too, whatever that looks like. Going back and digging off that nostalgia is a great move, and I hope it's successful because I don't want Halo to die. I don't. It's like Mario dying. Like imagine us knowing we're never gonna get another Mario game because the games aren't successful. I don't want that for Halo. So I really hope that these games are successful. I really do.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I think that there is a lot, maybe not a ton riding on Campaign Evolved getting it right, because that is just the campaign. But if they do get that right and that is successful, that is a wonderful first step towards them rehabilitating the franchise. And I think that it's still going to all come down to that next multiplayer game. What does that look like? Can they make people excited about it? And the reality is, it's like that is, I mean, it is certainly a Halo problem. Getting people to believe that they can invest their time and money and their friends' time into a Halo multiplayer game again. Yes, that is a hill to climb. But there is the reality of, God, I don't know who, I wouldn't want to be in the making a new multiplayer game business right now, because how do you get those people's attention? Everyone's either fully in on their one game that they've selected for the last 5 to 10 years, or they are burnt out from that game. And if your thing is like, we'll learn lessons from those games, and you look anything similar to that, and you're not offering tons of novelty, you're going to kind of be left out in the cold a little bit. Or if you like turn to nostalgia, like I think they're going to have to, it's like, do they risk being too samey? Now, of course, there's always the like, God, this is a breath of fresh air because they stopped making games like this. And I think that's going to be the sweet spot for Halo. But it's also like, it's called a sweet spot because it's a small target. It's easy to miss. Do you think you have the confidence in, God, they were 343. Are they Halo Studios now? Is that what they're called?
Halo Studios? Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
What's your confidence level in Halo Studios being able to deliver and hit that sweet spot?
It's I don't want to be down on them because they did have a lot of turnover. There are new
There's a lot of
bosses
changes.
over at Halo. It's a lot of changes. So I do want to give them the opportunity to get it right. And I'm not saying that like Halo Infinite, for all intents and purposes, wasn't bad. I don't want to say it was bad. I think the multiplayer had me hooked for a while. It's just after a while, it was like, okay, I'm gonna go off and play something else. The story, I would have loved to see what they would have done next with it. Halo Infinite wasn't bad. It just
No.
didn't live up to the original trilogy.
A lot of baggage there that it had to deal with. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't want to say I don't have faith in them because I like to prove me wrong. Tell me once you make changes at the top level, you got different bosses because we heard about the fractures and we want to do this, we want to do that, and we're changing this and changing that. There was no real leadership over at formerly
no
known as
vision.
343. No vision, no leadership. It was bad, right? So you get new bosses, new people in charge. If everyone's going in the same direction, we say this is where we want to go with the franchise. I wanted to give them an opportunity to do that and fail before I say no confidence. As of right now, I'm going to say I trust them to do right by the IP until they prove me otherwise.
Yeah, I'm with you. Right, they made changes, so the suggestion there is they understand the problems the way that we are criticizing them, and the way it always goes in any industry, but I think especially true in games is we can all out here sitting outside identify the problems. We don't always know the solutions. We don't know the answers. Part. We throw out ideas like just do it this way, just do it like that. And it's usually those thoughts are half baked, at least when they come from me. And because I don't know what it takes to get all this stuff figured out. And I bet they have considered a lot of the things that we throw out there. So, they've made changes. Let's see if they identified the problems and had an idea for a solution by bringing in this new leadership. Yeah, you're right. Prove us wrong, kind of like get your mojo back. And, the real shame here is I did really like Halo Infinite. I had a lot of fun with that game. I thought that they were like doing something interesting in the single player, and then the multiplayer was fun every time I played it. They just their tools for building out content were broken, and I bet that led to a lot of those arguments you talked about being more heated than they need to be. It's like we believe the game should be this. It's like, well, then fucking do it, then make it that way, and they just couldn't do it fast enough. So switching to Unreal, hopefully these teams can sort of just kind of get the stuff under wraps. Yeah, it's big. It makes a huge difference.
I think the Slip Space engine was a mistake.
It was a problem.
Think they tried to create their own thing, and they just couldn't do it. So going to something that most developers, I would say, I don't want to say they know, but it's probably easier tools for them to deal with. I think it's going to be big for them because you're not spending so much time on trying to get the engine just to do what you want it to do. You brought out Halo Infinite. It's supposed to be this big new path for Halo while also building a brand new engine for Halo. I think that was a major problem with Infinite.
Yep, absolutely. And I think there's a chance that they that is, I mean, that's the thing that gives me the most confidence is that they see that as the problem. Their solution is already in place. And, the good news is Microsoft has a ton of Unreal Engine experts kind of across that business. And that is one area where it's like you can give them credit for their massive, sprawling infrastructure as they've become very good at sharing information about how to use Unreal Engine. And, hopefully that benefits Halo. Before we get off of this, Halo campaign evolved. Forza Horizon 6 this month. There's Fable this year still. That's still has a 2026 release date. They seem pretty confident it's still coming out this year. What else is coming from them this year? There's at least one. Oh, well, there's Call of Duty from
Call of Duty, yeah.
Yeah, there's Call of Duty. Right, Gears of War, E-Day.
E-Day.
They got a lot. They got a pretty stacked schedule here. When do you expect us to kind of like get some of these games that don't have release dates? Like, is Fable going to just be very late this year, and what?
I would. Something's not going to make it. I don't feel like
right. That's the safe thing.
Yeah, something's not going to make it. I'm hoping that they don't release things toward the end of the year because that monster that is called Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to monopolize the industry. And you might want to just get out of the way, being a month, if you're trying to be a month after. I would personally love Fable to come out next spring. I just don't feel like it's a summer game. It's not a Christmas style. I think if it could supplant itself as a game that drops next spring, I would be okay with that. And I'm okay with it being I guess technically delayed. I don't think we have an official release date for Fable yet, do we?
No, I don't think so. I'm like double checking right now, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would love to see Fable get pushed back. Drop Gears, Gears E-Day. Let that happen. I think that's a good spot for Gears to come out in the September, October spot there. But definitely push Fable back. Halo, I don't think it's necessarily going to drop this year either. But I am on the delay games if they're not ready train. I'm big on it. Delay it, because if they don't delay and it comes out and it's half baked, we're going to complain about it. So push it back as long as it's not like we don't have a million and other games to play. That's between right. Wolverine and GTA 6. We've got plenty of stuff to push back. Because Xbox is crazy because now that they're theoretically or basically a third-party publisher, they got so many first-party IPs coming out that we're all kind of looking forward to. So it's interesting to see what they do with their spacing, and because they have to space it. It's so much content, they have to space it. So I can definitely see Fable being the one that gets pushed back into next year, and I actually would call for it.
Yeah, I'm double checking. It's like, I think the only thing that has a locked release date, and this could be wrong, chat, feel free to correct me, is Forza Horizon, which is May 19th. Someone just put in chat that the developers announced it went gold today. So they are pressing that thing to discs, as much as things get pressed to discs these days. Then Gears of War E-Day is, we're going to get info about that at Summer Game Fest. They're going to have the Microsoft event, and then right after that is the Gears of War E-Day event. So we'll get information about that on June 7th. Man, we're a month away from that. Fable is supposed to be autumn. And then Minecraft Dungeons 2, let's not forget about that, is in the fall. Also doesn't have a specific release date. And then Halo Campaign Evolved is a 2026 date as well. So that's it. We just have a big window there. So yeah, a lot of these could slip. I mean, if they get them all out this year, you're right, they're going to have to space them out. But there's not a ton of room left once you start considering Grand Theft Auto 6 taking up like a huge black hole in the middle of the calendar. We'll see. Yeah. All right, let's take that break right now. When we come back, plenty of headlines to get into. Marathon has years of story planned ahead. We'll talk about that and more. If you want to skip out on this, giantbomb.com/join to get the ad-free versions. We will be right back. We are back. It's Game Mess Mornings. That's Fame. I'm Grubb. Let's get into more stories here. Marathon has years of story planned out, says Bungie, and players will help shape it. This is from Stephen Tailby at Push Square. Bungie has made it quite clear that it has long-term plans for its divisive PS5 extraction shooter Marathon. The game launched earlier this year, and although sales estimates paint a less optimistic picture, it seems the studio has laid the groundwork for much more to come over the next few years. Speaking to Games Radar, creative director Julia Narden speaks about the team's intentions to keep the game's narrative moving in step with the players. We know where we want to take the story over the next few years, but I don't want to say it's completely locked in because it's important to us that our players be able to help shape it, she says. She describes the way fans can influence Marathon's story as part of the magic of playing a live service game. Look, I think this is the exact right thing to be reminding people that the people making this game have lots of plans for the future. And if you want to be a part of that, you can help shape it. And so we're in this together, and we're in this together also means, hey, believe in this game, keep playing it, and it will have a future. If you start believing in the death spiral of, God, are enough people playing this? What is it going to have a future? Should I be playing it? Am I just wasting my time? Like, no, don't think about that. Just play the game because the people making it, the people that made it special in the first place, believe in it. So let's just work on this together and keep it going. What do you think the fate of Marathon is? Because it's right there on the cusp for me of like, God, I hope they just are internally at Sony, they believe in it because it seems like it did its job of delivering an exciting game that people really love. What do you think, Fame?
I'll never want a game to fail. First off, right? I want, because when games fail, people lose their jobs. We don't want that. But I'm gonna be completely honest with you, Jeff. I can care less about Marathon. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. Other than all the controversy that was circled around it, I had forgotten it even came out. I don't think this game is in the minds of the majority as Bungie hoped it would be. As they hoped that, hey, we have to wrap up because they love Destiny, and we're Bungie, and they're gonna love us. I don't know how many people even thought to even play this game, right? Because let's keep it a buck. So many extract, like you got Arc Raiders.
Yeah,
You're playing
Arc Raiders
Marathon,
was
but you
huge.
could play Arc Raiders, right? It's almost like it's there's so many better versions of this particular game out. It's gonna be hard to keep them in the not only grab the attention of people, but keep the attention of people. I hope it does great. I hope it's very successful. I just hope that if it doesn't, will they make transitions to, because let's keep it above, it's $40 on top of that.
Yeah,
And I
this is
think
not a free to play
that
game.
it's not a free to play game. I think that pushed away a lot of people as well. It's like they expected it for it to be have that free to play model, and it didn't. I'm just wondering if that isn't successful. If them charging $40, will they transition? Because I don't know if Marathon has the staying power to stay a $40 game and continue to be successful long term. And then this is coming from somebody who hasn't played the game, right? I've only seen clips. I've watched some different live streams. I haven't played it myself to really dive deep and say, you know what, this game has intricacies that you can't pick up by live streaming. You have to play it, right? So I could be completely wrong in that, and I accept that. I just, from the outside looking in, I just doesn't feel like it has the staying power. And I think those controversies back then hurt the brand that they may not ever truly recover from.
It gave people an excuse to not pay attention, right? Like as soon as you hear
Yeah.
like, oh, it's stealing art, it's like, oh, okay, I'll go play a game that isn't doing that. And people don't need a lot of excuses to not spend $40, right? Like you look for one tiny little reason to save your money, and then your brain shuts. Like I'm always talking about myself when I'm describing how people behave, but my behavior is, yeah, I'll just close down and I can shut that off. Now I was still interested in Marathon because a lot of people I trust seemed really into it. And that does make me think, Fame, that it does have something there that will cause it to stick around if it can get through these tough early days of establishing itself as one of the games. People have to believe in that, and it's. I think that's still a question that is, it's a jury that is out still, and we won't know for sure for a couple of months. But I think, to me, like hearing the studio talk and hearing the fandom kind of be like, no, I'm still going back to it. I think it can push through this. And get on that other side, but they're going to have to get creative with the business model. I think that $40 price point,
very much so.
You drop that down to 20 for these holidays. Yeah, I mean, get that thing in a PlayStation Plus, get it into Game Pass. Like, yeah, just make that happen, and then in a couple years, it does go to free to play. I mean, Destiny did eventually, so this game, I'm sure they built in the trapdoors to make that happen. Kind of make sure that you're on a good schedule for all those points of momentum to shift this thing into a more friendly business model. And then, yeah, I think it could work. But that core game, people seem to really like it. And I definitely like the idea of playing more Marathon than I have been. I wish I would have spent some more time with it. But yeah, it's busy over here. Bungie, though, like Bungie specifically, they're under Sony now. They're kind of getting subsumed into PlayStation. I know that sounds like the same thing, everybody, but it is two different things. And it's like they're slowly getting incorporated into PlayStation because they were always supposed to be just under Sony doing their own thing. That's not the case anymore. But they are still behaving the way that they said they would at the time of the acquisition, Fame, which was, we are going to make our games and we're going to put them out everywhere. And what do you think the future of Bungie is? Is it like, right now, is it just, hey, we got to figure out the games we have? Or do they start looking at the next game here pretty soon? What do you think?
I reserve the right to be wrong. But
Yeah,
I
on
think
this show,
it's
that's all
time
we do.
for I think it's time for Bungie to fully assimilate into PlayStation. A reason I say that is because have we ever thought that Bungie might be the problem from when they were Xbox, when they were with Activision, there's always like a controversy about their boss. Like that's always like, oh well, we got these issues going on, but we're gonna blame it's Xbox's fault. Well, Activision, man, it's Activision's fault. It's time to assimilate and do things. PlayStation has been around for forever and a day. They're the number one gaming console. I mean, that's debatable, I guess, for Nintendo for a reason. PlayStation knows what they're doing, at least from the single player aspect, right? It's time for Bungie just to fully assimilate. I'm not saying that they need to go and assimilate and we not put games everywhere. I do believe Sony is going to be hell bent on keeping things multiplayer games, multi-platform. You got Helldivers and whatever they got coming up next, right? I think they'll continue to put these multiplayer games on PC, on Xbox. It's time for Bungie to completely assimilate it because it seems like their independency, something is always going wrong somewhere. Because again, I'm not saying that the art thing ruined this game, but it was it was an issue.
Yeah,
And like
I mean,
you
I
said,
think it
gamers
was.
are fickle.
Gamers are very fickle, and yes, it can, that's the kind of thing that can push people away. And I mean, it was at the very least sort of illustrative of deeper problems at that company. And you know, your point of, hey, it's maybe not the publisher, it is the studio. I mean, that is at this point well documented that the leadership, the owners of Bungie itself were truly bad, like truly terrible, did not know what they were doing. And that's a common story, but it seemed especially true at Bungie. And that likely filtered down. And I think they're still sort of, you know, dealing with with that sort of environment, that atmosphere at that studio, and they are moving past that a little bit, but it's still seems like they have not been able to fully pull out of there. And all these games are steeped in like that atmosphere, so it's like, yeah, it still has all that stink on it. We'll see if they're able to kind of figure out the future. I don't know. What do you like? 5 years from now, Bungie has a new game. What does that game look like in your opinion? And like, what would a like be a warning sign that, oh, Bungie, things have gone really bad for Bungie because they're putting out X or Y? What do you think?
Because it's Destiny.
Yeah,
Because if I'm being honest, new games failing shuts down studios. New games failing, it ruins studios, right? So if 5 years from now, if they haven't created their next game, because I give them credit for Marathon, it's not Destiny, right?
Yeah.
So I give them credit, they make something new. But if 5 years from now we're talking about the newest Destiny and not their newest game, that signals. And it's not just a Bungie problem. I think it's an industry. But we talked about not too long ago about Microsoft going back to Halo 1, 2, and 3, right? It's people are so scared to do things that are new. We love Destiny because it was sort of Halo, but it was new. It was in that universe, but it was new, and we want them to continue to innovate and do stuff like that. But we're not actually going out and paying for these games. So if they're touting their new Destiny game in 5 years, then we know they pretty much failed.
I think that I think that the sort of worst case, most embarrassing scenario is, hey, here's our new game from Bungie. It is a licensed Marvel shooter or something like that.
My God.
It is something like they go that route, and it's like, oh no, okay, I see what happened here. But well, that is like, you know, nightmare scenario stuff. So we don't have to like go down that route too much. All right, let's keep going here. Pragmata is looking like a real new Capcom IP. This is sort of an update to this ongoing story we've been checking in a couple times. Pragmata has sold that more than 1 million copies in the first 2 days, as we talked about on this show. And now Capcom USA Chief Operating Officer Rob Dyer suggested Capcom may have another IP it can keep building on, that being Pragmata. This is from Ali Reynolds at Nintendo Life. Capcom's latest flagship game, Pragmata, has already proven to be a huge success. So with that in mind, Capcom COO Rob Dyer has made encouraging comments regarding the future of the game. He basically just said, we're to a point now where we've got another IP that Capcom, and God bless them, has an arsenal that we can continue to go down. The idea here being, we had Resident Evil, we have Street Fighter, we have Monster Hunter, we have a handful of other things. We've definitely tried to sort of elevate Dragon's Dogma, and maybe the jury's still out on whether that happened. There's always Devil May Cry we can return to. There's all these other ones that are there. Onimusha we're going to try to do the same thing with. But if we're talking about that top tier of Resident Evil, Street Fighter, Monster Hunter, you could maybe put Pragmata right below those, and in the future it could easily stand side by side with them if they continue on this trajectory. That is, I mean, this is the story we want to be reading on this show. This is the thing we want to be talking about, is a publisher making new games, and that's the solution to their problems. I always be like, my thing with Xbox for many years there was, I think that they did not believe that the answer to their problems was make good games. Capcom here clearly knows, if we make good games, we are going to make more money, and it's working. And I'm very excited about that. How do you read all this?
No, you took the words out of my mouth, dude. Like when you're thinking about Capcom, you're thinking of Resi and Monster Hunter and Street Fighter. Pragmata might be, and it kind of goes against what I was saying a few moments ago about how new games can like close studios, even though I doubt a new game because Capcom is huge, right? But this is the polar opposite of a new game just being so good and beloved by so many people that it's the next we're going to get Pragmata 2, Pragmata 3, Pragmata. It's going to be that long-lasting franchise that we want. It's new, and it's a new game, and it's a new series that's going to have legs moving forward. Because we don't get this a lot. We get a lot of one and dones. We get new IPs that fail almost immediately. But this is a brand new IP, original story. Not in the universe of another game. This is standalone, standstill, and it's successful. This is what we want as gamers. And there was no major controversies behind this game. It's just a good video game that everyone collectively said, you know what, this is good. Let's make it successful. And I think this will be our next big. And Capcom has, they have so many IPs that are old and are going to go forever. You're not going to not get another Resi in the future. You're not going to get another Monster Hunter, Street Fighter. You're not going to not get those games, right? And for them to supplant another big IP in that, I think people got to put more respect on Capcom. I mean, people love Capcom, but it's time to put a little bit more respect on their name because they are innovators and they are creating new IPs that we're going to play, that our kids are going to play. Hey, my grandpa played the first Pragmata. It's like we talked about our older generation playing, or us as kids playing Street Fighter. That's what Pragmata is going to be. And I got all the faith in the world of Capcom to continue to make and continue to evolve this IP moving forward. It's going to be great, dude.
Yeah, I think that there's a strong chance here that Capcom has learned a lot of lessons from like the Xbox 360 era, where they did have new stuff. There were the Lost Planets, and the quality of Lost Planet, those games aside. It's like they did a lot of those. There was some success there, but they kind of burned through it pretty quickly. And now it's like, it wasn't one and done, but effectively it kind of was because they spent the amount of time, resources to make those games as they would to make one game these days. So it's like one generation and done, essentially. There might have been others, but no one cared about them. So the point is like, I think they know how to like sort of treat these franchises, these IPs now, so that they can be like, hey, we had success. Let's build on that in a sustainable way. And, obviously they have a lot of advantages when it comes to doing that with a Resident Evil, like, because they can do the fresh new game and try something. And if people aren't, if that's not the exact style that some huge Resident Evil fan wants, well, here's the remakes and here's some ways to play the original versions and all this. There's all this massive amount of content. So everyone feels like every minute they spend investing into Resident Evil is going to pay off because there's another game waiting for them around the corner. That's a lot of advantages, but I think still that they know how to apply many of those lessons to something as fresh and new as Pragmata. And so, I hope I'm proven right by that. And it seems like Capcom does know what they're doing.
Oh, 100%. I got all the faith in the world for them to continue to hopefully not Lost Planet to this thing. And if you're creating a sequel or a spinoff that is just as good as the first one, because Lost Planet, man, that brought back some feels, man, because the sequel they sucked.
Yeah, they were bad, right?
You brought back some feels with that, but I'm hoping that they continue to evolve the IP in the best possible ways, and I got all the faith in the world for Capcom to do that.
Man, Dead Rising is like the one franchise from them that was new during the Xbox 360 generation that kind of survived, right? I guess maybe there's some others. Dragon's Dogma, that was that generation as well. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. I would say more Dragon's Dogma because I mean, Dead Rising. I mean, it stopped being relevant? What, after 2, 3?
Yeah, definitely. It had diminishing returns in a big way. Yeah, but they put out that
goofy and it got weird. Like, especially the one that came out on Xbox One, I was like, yeah, it's over. It might.
Yeah, I mean, they tried to do that remaster last year, was it? And it's like, oh yeah, man, Dead Rising. I won't be surprised if there's a new Dead Rising around the corner, personally, but we'll Probably. All right, let's keep going here. Marvel Tokon adds Hulk and Black Panther. This is from Sal Romano at Gamatsu. Hulk and Black Panther will be playable characters in the 4 versus 4 tag fighting game Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. Publisher Sony Interactive Entertainment and developer Arc System Works announced. They joined a bunch of other fighters who are already in there. These are a good fit. Black Panther, I don't know if we've seen in a ton of the Marvel versus games before. I think he was probably in 3 maybe, but this is Shuri Black Panther actually. So it's a different take on it than we would probably normally see. And then Hulk is almost a requisite character, like a prerequisite to put out one of these games. You kind of can't not have Hulk. Every time I see this game, it continues to look better to me. Fame, what do you think about these character additions?
Well, number one, people are pissed that it's Shuri and not T'Challa.
Yeah,
People
I'm sure they are.
Pissed that there's Shuri.
Yeah.
That is Shuri, right? And to me, I don't play a lot of fighters. Like, I'll play fighters when I can like beat up on kids. Like, if you're like 10 and under, I will play a fighting game with you.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna look like a god.
That's my motto. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you're an adult, yeah, I'm not playing. But look, this game looks great. I think the character design looks amazing. I love like some of the outfits, like what they did with Storm. Because if you look at like Marvel Rivals, and like they like forget Storm exists sometimes. Like, she looks amazing in Tokon, right?
Yeah, she does.
Again, Hulk is a staple. Not shocked to see Hulk. I'm surprised he wasn't there from announced like when they first started the game. Like,
same, yeah.
Like Marvel versus Capcom and all these games, like Hulk is always, he's been there, right? I think the Shuri thing is a curveball. I think there's them doing something different. I think I don't know if it's because moving forward in the Marvel franchise, Shuri is the current Black Panther and going to be Black Panther and Doomsday.
That's always
maybe
a part
that's
of it,
why
yes.
they're doing that, right?
I mean,
a lot of people are pissed about it, but
I think there was there was a story recently where someone was talking about like the early days of working with Marvel. It might have been the Marvel versus Capcom games, and they're like, Hulk can't jump. That's what it was. Hulk is like, he can't jump, so you can't have him jump in this fight. Or no, it was not Hulk. It was Juggernaut. Excuse me. Hulk famously can jump very far. And it's like, yeah, Juggernaut can't jump, so you can't just have him jump in this fighting game. And like, that's a problem because the character needs to be able to jump. That is part of fighting games. And so it was like this back and forth between the companies. And it's like, yeah, that is still true today. The IP protection that happens under all of Disney stuff, but especially like Star Wars and Marvel, they're very protective. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's Shuri precisely because of that. Obviously, they have a lot of leeway to do what they want with a lot of these characters, but that's not going to be true across the board. I also think it's interesting. We're going to be getting one of those Black Panther games didn't get canceled, right? Is it the Amy Hennig game that's still coming? Yeah.
Is it the one with him and Cap, 1942?
Yeah, that sounds right. Game. Yes.
And they're using, and that's not T'Challa either. It's T'Chaka.
Yeah, that's T'Chaka. Yes.
So it's like,
you're right. Okay.
Yeah, Chadwick's gone, and they've
no more T'Challa.
Acting like T'Challa no longer exists. Like they're burying, and which is
can't touch it.
I love T'Challa, but we got T'Chaka in that game, and we have Shuri in this one, and like people just really want to continue with T'Challa, whether it's performative or not. People want to continue with T'Challa.
Absolutely. Touch on this other fighting game story real quick before we move on. Tekken 8 is getting Kunimitsu later this month. Sal Romano Gamatsu tells us Tekken 8 Season 3 downloadable content character Kunimitsu will launch on May 27th for Season 3 Character Pass owners and June 1st for everyone else. Bandai Namco announced. You got to get these characters out there and ready as more of these fighting game tournaments are happening, and they want to make sure that stuff is ready to go. And yeah, man, fighting games continue to fight for the attention of that community, which is growing and sort of able to nurture many of these games. But there's like a finite number of people out there playing these games, so you got to keep the excitement going. Tekken 8, I know, is in a weird place with that community. Hopefully, they can continue to spruce things up over there. Resident Evil Requiem producer says DLSS 5 anger shows we got Grace's original design right. This is a hell of a thing to say. This is from Andy Robinson at VGC. Resident Evil Requiem's producer has commented on the negative reaction to the game's DLSS 5 AI-powered makeover revealed by NVIDIA earlier this year. Revealed in March, DLSS 5 uses an AI model to alter the visuals of supported games running on NVIDIA graphics cards, adding what it calls, quote, photoreal lighting and materials, or what I call a bunch of bullshit. However, the initial reveal was met with strong criticism from many players and games industry figures for how it appears to drastically alter the original art direction of the supported game. Speaking to Eurogamer, Capcom's Masato Kumazawa said he considered the strong sentiment around protagonist Grace's glamorous makeover shown in NVIDIA's demo as a positive because he believes it indicates that the dev team got the design right with the original game. You know what this reminds me of, Fame? When the Borderlands movie came out and what's his name? The magician had spent years and years and years promoting how he was like on the movie set. He's best friends with Kate Blanchett. He's right there making sure they're going to make the best Borderlands movie possible. And then the movie comes out and it's just everyone hates it. It was, I will describe it as a fun, so bad it's good because I like painful experiences and it was painful. And so once that sentiment was out there, Randy was out there being like, oh man, this just shows how much better we are at making stories in games than Hollywood is. It's like, man, you were just over there talking about how you were involved in everything. This is very much that of, this just proves you love us and not what they're doing over there at NVIDIA. It's like, wait, weren't you guys working hand in hand with them on this? What happened here? Look, this is the right thing to say, still fame. Kind of be like, we got it right, and that means we're not changing it. Don't freak out. Grace is grace. But man, Capcom did step in it a little bit here, right?
It's a built-in way out. Like they built the back door. Like,
yes.
Because if had the reaction been different, and everyone said, "Oh man, this is the next step in gaming." See?
Yeah, good point. They would not be said this. Never would come out. They never would have said this. Yeah, you're right. Trapdoor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's definitely a trapdoor, and because gamers, as we continue to push and want realism in gaming, we want it done by people.
Yeah,
I think this AI thing. Most people love AI to make memes on X. They don't like it for their video games, right? And again, this is the right thing to say. It's a backdoor because had it been praised and as the next step and next evolution of gaming, they would have been. They would never. This would never be said, right? Yeah. So I'm cool with everyone hating it. I mean, I think some people virtue signaling it a little bit. I think that's the case. But everyone decided to come out and hate. I have no problem with it because I want my games made by people. I want the heart, soul, blood, tears to be put inside my video game from people, and I don't want somebody to put a couple of prompts in to make a game look great or run better. I want it done by people. It should always be run by people.
I think your point about like even the people using the AI to make the memes, even they don't want their games not made by people. Even they think it's important to have their stuff made by people. And that's generally true. Obviously, there's the true weirdos out there, if they're even real, out there fighting for AI and all this stuff and be like, you were being mean to the AI. But I think we know that for the most part, most normal people just want their games made by humans because it's like, what are we doing otherwise? Why am I wasting this time? Wasting my time on something that has no human energy put into it or the minimal human energy put into it?
It's a slippery slope. I mean, once you start really using AI for these games, and I know to a certain extent, a lot of these companies are using AI for certain things, like minor things, but it's a slippery slope because at one point, if we all are okay with it, then at that point, games are going to be fully made by AI. Then it's like we're going to do a bunch of slop, and this game is going to suck.
Yeah, it's going to be a moving target, and I'm definitely never going to concede on the generative side of getting involved in the art and the writing and stuff like that. If these companies are going to use it in their Excel spreadsheets, I can't get too worked up about that. Like. Yeah, that personally, I'm like, that's basically just a new version of autocomplete for Excel. Okay, doesn't mean a lot to me. Just keep it out of the artist room. Keep it out of the writer's room. Keep it away from the designers. Let them make a game because it comes from them. All right, last couple of stories here. Sony boss thinks game business woes were caused by overinvestment during COVID-19. Basically, this is just Shuhei Yoshida. Continuing to have conversations with people. This is, he's kind of reiterated this a couple times now. Even recently, we talked about it a little bit, but I just kind of want to touch on it one more time. Fame. That does seem to be the biggest problem here is I think there was this huge FOMO party during COVID of all these companies look around and everyone's like, oh my God, we're making so much money. The line is going up and to the right. And if it keeps doing that, we better be ready to we better invest to make them more money on the other side of this. And if there were sober, realist people in the room being like, hey, it might not last if things go back to normal, if people start going outside again, they were shut out because of the FOMO. If we miss out on this, we're going to miss out big. So everyone got out over their skis across the board. Everyone did. And now the rest of the industry is basically continuously paying for these mistakes. Except for the people at the very tippy top. I say that, and even Phil Spencer's gone, right? So
Yeah.
it's not like no one has lost their jobs or whatever. But for the most part, we know that most of the pain is felt by the people who are doing the work and got hired during COVID, and now these companies are going like, oh, we hired way too many people. Do you like? I think it's still fair to like point to that moment in time and being like, this is the primary cause of like most of the day-to-day issues we have in this industry. When do you think we sort of like get on the other side of this wobbling coming out of COVID?
Well, now I do 100% believe that COVID had a lot to do with it, because if you even look at the statistics of older people playing video games, they started with COVID because no one could go anywhere, right? So a lot of the older generation, like you didn't have, and this is no shade because I love her, right? I like, you didn't have, I don't think you had like the big like tactical grandma and stuff like that pre-COVID, right? You got the older generation playing when COVID happened, right? So the industry overcorrected for that, and because it was like, hey, we're winning now, let's continue and have these make-believe stories that's going to continue that way. And so now that, like you said, people are touching grass and people are back outside and they're doing everything, and other people aren't gaming as much they were during COVID because there are other things to do. It's like, all right, well, now we're going to have to lay off this, that, and the other. Yeah, we can use, different, we'll kind of go back to the AI thing for this, that, and the other, and we can let people go. I do think we are on the tail end of this because the amount of layoffs has slowed down. It's still happening.
Yeah, a little bit.
But at one point, you remember Grubb over the last 2 years, it was like every month, it was like, hey, 19,000,
Yes.
20,000,
You're right.
they were just gone. And that has slowed down significantly. And you are seeing people wanting to now start to get jobs again in the industry, because at one point, if you're looking to get a job in the games industry, I felt bad for you, because don't leave what you got going to get in the games industry, because you might not have a job in a month, right? So I do think we're on the tail end of that, but definitely COVID was massive with them overcorrecting because so many people were playing video games and on TikTok during 2020 to 2023, 2024. And so now they have to correct for that, because you don't need as many people, because a lot of people, they're not making as many games, and people aren't playing these games as much as they were.
Yep. Yeah, man. Elden Ring, I think, was one of those games that was just like, it blew up because it's Elden Ring, but I think it especially blew up because of that time of people just being like, I just bought a way to play games, and this is a total escape. It's one of those games that really benefited from that. Yeah. All right. Last story is just an FYI for your information. The Steam controller launches today. If you get on Steam, you're going to be able to buy the thing. It's $100 in the US, $149 in Canada, $150 in Australia. Yeah, it's really good. I like mine a whole bunch. It's gonna be my new daily driver. I got another one plugged into that computer over there. It is really good for navigating like systems from a couch. I turned on the desktop gyro, so now when I rest my thumb on the trackpad or on the controller, the gyro turns on, and I could use the mouse to navigate on my desktop, and that is way friendlier than you would probably expect. I'm really enjoying that. Kind of very easy to use. We got coverage on the site for the Steam controller if you guys want to go check that out over on Giant Bomb. All right, no poll question from last week because we did the Bomb 12 instead. The Bomb 12 is updated on giantbomb.com. So if you go on the website, scroll down a little bit, you're going to see the Bomb 12 from last week. Those are the 12 games that really matter to people who are really playing video games. If you want to add your game for consideration for the Bomb 12 at the end of this week, you can do so. There's a vote here tab right there. Click on that. It'll take you to the Google form. Add your game. We'll consider it. We'll collate everything, see what people think, and wrap up this week with a new Bomb 12. With that out of the way, let's see here. What else we got to do? Fame, why don't you tell people one more time where they could find you, what you have going on, and all that good stuff?
Yeah, listen, I think my boss is in the chat. That LV1 Gaming 20, that's level 1 game. I think that's Baron J67 running the show over there. So,
what are you doing,
yeah,
Baron?
man, LV1 Gaming. Yep, that's definitely Baron. LV1 Gaming, LV1Gaming.com. Listen, like Jeff said, man, independency is very important, and we are independent as well. We are completely ad-free. And everything we do is coming from the love of our community and what we're going over there. So I do want to thank you for letting me come over here and talk about LV1 Gaming and LV1Gaming.com.
Of course.
So you guys see that chat over there, man. You guys click and subscribe. And we have multiple shows. Baron actually runs his own show every Sunday or every other Sunday, which is awesome. My show runs on Fridays, and we have a good time over there, man. And Jeff, we got to get you back on soon, man. It's been, we haven't had you on since you grew your hair back. So we got to get you back.
That's right. You got to do it before someone makes me cut it again. So yeah, make it happen. I'm trying to grow back for real. It is in the awkward in between phase, and I hate this part. So it's like, am I going to see it through? In the past, I'm like, I don't give a shit. But now I'm like, I see myself on camera every day now. It's like, I don't know if I could survive this. We'll see. I like it long, but we will see. All right. We do have a new poll question. Which of these have you played in the last month? Arc Raiders, Marathon, both or neither? We'll get the responses to that. We'll get that all collated as well on Wednesday's show. Tomorrow we have the Bombcast. Other things happening on Giant Bomb. We're going to be recording something today, but there might be some like Star Wars Day stuff later. There was some plans to do that. We'll let you guys know exactly when that will happen. But then you could expect the regular rotation of stuff. Wednesday will be Blight. Oh no, we won't have Blight Club because Dan's out on assignment. So we'll probably do a Delight Club. Thursday will be Voicemail Dump Truck, though. Friday we'll have UPF. Come hang out with us all week, everybody. We'll let you know when other things are happening. With that all out of the way, let's see here. Fame, thank you so much for hanging out with me today and talking about video games, man. I really appreciate it.
It's been a great Monday, Jeff. I appreciate you.
I absolutely appreciate you as well. Thank you all for watching and listening. You are the best audience in gaming. Until next time, have a good one. Take care of yourself, and goodbye.